You ever watch someone you love turn into a stranger? Right in front of thousands of people? That was me. My name's Riley Monroe, and I used to be the girl in the front row, cheering for a man who forgot who made him. Cole Parker, UFC's next big thing, the underdog from Dallas. That's what the world called him. But to me, he was just the boy who couldn't afford a gym membership until I sold my guitar to pay for it. We started from nothing. Cheap motels, late-night workouts, protein shakes made in gas station cups. I was there through every loss, every bruise, every breakdown. I wrapped his hands before fights, prayed for him before weigh-ins, and told him he'd make it big one day. And when he finally did, he forgot my name. The first time it hit me was during a live UFC interview in Vegas. He was sitting next to Joe Rogan, lights blazing, and when they asked about his support system, he laughed and said, "Man, I've always done this alone." I swear my heart stopped for a second. That same night he texted me, "Don't come to the after party, it's bad optics." Bad optics? I was the reason he even had a party to go to. I remember standing outside that arena, the noise, the cheers, the smell of beer and sweat, and realizing I'd become invisible. Just another ghost in his highlight reel. I walked back to our hotel room that night and saw him on FaceTime with another woman. She was wearing his hoodie. My hoodie. He didn't even flinch when he saw me. He just said, "You knew what this was, Riley. This is the game." The game? Nah, that was the moment the rules changed. For weeks after, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every fight announcement, every photo, every tag, it was like watching a version of me die over and over. But pain has a funny way of making you dangerous. I stopped crying and started training. The same gym he once bled in, I joined it. Every morning, 5 a.m. Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing. I wasn't there to fight in the cage. I was there to build armor. 6 months later, UFC was hosting Fight Night Vegas, Bonfim versus Brown. Big crowd, ESPN coverage. And guess who they hired as the new face of Voices of the Cage, a female host for behind-the-scenes fighter interviews. Yeah, me, Riley freaking Monroe. That night, I stood under those same lights, the same cage, the same smell of blood and sweat. But this time, I wasn't the girl cheering. I was the one holding the mic. Cameras flashing, people screaming my name. I could feel him staring from across the cage. And for the first time ever, I didn't flinch. I smiled, turned toward the camera, and whispered under my breath, "Welcome to my ring now, Cole." The crowd roared for the fighters, but that smile, yeah, that was for me. Because that night wasn't about revenge yet. It was about reclaiming the stage he stole. And deep down, I knew this was just the beginning. They say Vegas makes you feel alive. But for me, it felt like a graveyard with neon lights. Everywhere I looked, I saw his posters. Cole Parker, the People's Champ. Billboards, buses, merch stores. His damn face was everywhere. And every time I saw it, that same voice in my head whispered, "You built that." One night after a shoot, I went down to the arena floor when everyone was gone. Just me, the cage, and the smell of sweat. I ran my fingers across the fence, the same one he used to bleed against while I screamed his name from the front row. I smiled and whispered, "Feels different when you're on this side, huh?" Then I started filming again. But not interviews this time. A docuseries, my own. Behind the Fighter. A raw, inside look at what happens to the women behind the fame. I talked to ex-wives, girlfriends, trainers, the forgotten people who built legends and got erased. The first episode hit 500,000 views in 2 days. The comments? Brutal. "Finally someone's saying it!" This is realer than any UFC press conference. Riley's exposing the game. I didn't hold back. I dropped truths like punches. And guess whose fans started losing their minds? Yeah, Cole's. Suddenly, his PR team was emailing my producer, demanding edits, takedowns, legal threats. My phone buzzed nonstop, but I wasn't backing down. Because for once, the world wasn't cheering for him. They were listening to me. One night, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Silence for a few seconds, then a voice I hadn't heard in months. "Riley, it's me." I didn't breathe, didn't speak. Just let him talk. "You're really doing this, huh? Dragging my name through the dirt?" I laughed quietly. "No, Cole, I'm just cleaning it." He sighed. That same fake calm voice he used every time he lied. "You think this will make you feel better?" I leaned back in my chair, looked at my reflection in the window and said, "No. This isn't about feeling better. This is about you finally feeling what I did." He hung up. But I smiled, because that silence on the line, that was the sound of power shifting. That night, I sat in my car outside the gym he used to train in, watching from the shadows. New fighters were walking in, hungry, desperate, just like he once was. And I realized something. This revenge wasn't just about him anymore. It was about every woman who ever got erased from somebody else's success story. As I hit record again, my voice was steady. "This isn't a takedown story," I said into the mic. "This is a rebuild story." And the crazy part? The more truth I spoke, the more the world started to cheer. Vegas never sleeps. And neither did my mind that week. Every damn night, I'd scroll through clips of Cole's fights, not to admire him, but to study him. The way he moved, the arrogance in his walk, the fake smile after every win. The man thought he was untouchable. But every king falls. They just never see it coming. The docu-series was blowing up like wildfire. Every episode had more reach, more interviews, more heat. And somewhere deep down, I knew Cole was watching, pretending he didn't care, but dying inside every time someone mentioned my name. Then came the twist. ESPN called. They wanted me on a talk segment, not as Cole's ex, as Riley Monroe, the journalist behind the truth. Damn, hearing my own name like that, it hit different. The night before the show, I sat on my apartment balcony, city lights glowing like scattered embers. I whispered to myself, "You asked for revenge, Riley. You sure you're ready for what comes with it?" I wasn't sure if I was ready, but I knew I wasn't stopping. Next morning, the studio lights hit my face. Bright, heavy, real. I could feel my heartbeat sync with the camera countdown. 3, 2, 1. They asked me, "Riley, what made you expose the industry like this?" I smiled and said, "Truth doesn't destroy reputations. Lies do. I'm just cleaning up the mess." That line, it went viral within hours. TikTok edits, reaction videos, hashtags. Riley Monroe, your truth hits harder. By noon, my inbox exploded. Offers, podcasts, brand deals. I couldn't even process it all. But there was one message that froze me. A short email. No greeting, no signature. Just 3 words. "You're crossing lines." I knew that tone. I'd lived under it. "Cole." Instead of fear, I laughed. Because this time, he was the one watching from the shadows. But something inside me shifted. I didn't want this to turn into just another fight. I wanted it to mean something. So, mid-interview, I looked straight into the camera and said, "If you've ever had someone silence your story, this channel's for you. Hit that subscribe, and let's tell the truth louder." That became my mid-series CTA. Emotional, natural, not forced. And the moment I said it, the chat exploded. But later that night, as I walked to my car, I felt that cold rush, that feeling when someone's watching you. My instincts? They never lie. I turned around. Empty parking lot. Just the hum of Vegas neon and the echo of my heels. Still, something felt wrong. Like my story was being written by someone else now. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that email. "You're crossing lines." It wasn't a threat. It was a warning, the kind you get before the storm hits. The next morning, my phone buzzed nonstop. Calls from producers, agents, fans, even strangers. Everyone wanted a piece of Riley Monroe. But I didn't care about fame. I cared about control, the one thing he took from me, and now I was taking it back inch by inch. By afternoon, I got a DM from a verified account, a female UFC fighter named Jenna Cruz. She wrote, "I watched your series. You're saying what none of us could." That line, it hit me hard, because that was the point. I wasn't fighting one man anymore. I was fighting a system built to protect men like him. We talked for hours that night, me and Jenna. She told me about the hush contracts, the manipulation, the sponsors who looked away. Her stories were brutal. And when she said, "You're the reason I'm not scared anymore," I felt something deep shift inside me. So I decided to take it further. Next episode, The Cost of Silence. This time I didn't just tell stories, I showed faces. Real people, real pain. Fighters who were told to smile and move on. The episode dropped Friday night. Within 12 hours, it crossed 2 million views. Cole stayed quiet publicly, but I knew he was panicking. How? Because one of his close buddies, a former trainer, texted me, "He's losing it, Riley. You hit where it hurts." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. The world was replying for me, but I could feel the danger closing in. Later that week, after a late-night recording session, I stepped into the parking garage, and there it was again. That same chill, that same sense of eyes on me. I turned, pretending to fix my bag, scanning reflections in the car windows. Nothing. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number again. This time it wasn't text, it was a video. I opened it. My blood went cold. It was footage of me, from earlier that night, leaving the studio, walking to my car, alone. No caption, just silence. I froze, hands shaking, heart pounding. Someone was following me, watching me, but instead of fear, I felt something else. Anger. I whispered to myself, "You picked the wrong woman to scare." I looked straight into the camera on my phone and said, "You started this war, Cole. Let's see if you can handle round 2. Then I hit record. The next few days felt like living inside a movie. One of those slow burn thrillers where you already know something's coming. You just don't know when it'll hit. I didn't tell anyone about the video. Not Jenna, not my producer, not even the cops. Because if Cole was trying to scare me, I wasn't giving him that satisfaction. Instead, I started digging. I called an old friend, Travis, a tech guy who used to handle security for UFC events. When he picked up, he said, "Riley, it's been years. You sound wired." I said, "Someone's watching me. I need eyes on my side this time." Travis set up motion cameras around my building, hacked into local feeds. Yeah, he's that kind of friend. By the next morning, I had footage. A black Dodge Charger parked across the street every night. Same spot, same time. And guess who owned it? Cole's cousin. I laughed. That dry, bitter laugh you let out when the truth finally stops shocking you. "So this is how the champ plays?" I whispered. But instead of calling him out, I played along. I started walking slower to my car, checking over my shoulder, leaving studio doors half open, making sure he got the message. "I see you seeing me." Then came the big break. A new UFC press conference in Vegas. Cole was on the lineup. I pulled every contact I had, pulled strings, even lied a little, and got myself a media badge. The day of the event, I walked in dressed like war. Black heels, red jacket, camera in hand, eyes locked. He saw me the second I entered. His smirk vanished. Reporters crowded around, flashes popping, questions flying. Cole answered like a pro, pretending I wasn't there, until one journalist said, "Cole, how do you respond to Riley Monroe's documentary about women in the fight industry?" The silence in that room was louder than any punch. He looked straight at me and said, "She's got stories, not facts." I smiled, leaned forward and said loud enough for the mics to catch, "Funny, that's what you said about our relationship too." The room exploded. Reporters gasped. Cameras went wild. Social feeds lit up like fireworks. By nightfall, that clip had over 8 million views. My phone buzzed nonstop. Interviews, collabs, fans calling me the woman who stood up to the champ. And deep down, I realized I'd won half the war right there. Not because I humiliated him, but because I didn't need to swing back physically. My words did the damage. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, watching the video replay. His face, his eyes, that fake calm, it all screamed panic. For the first time, I didn't feel angry. I felt done. But little did I know, round 2 hadn't even started yet. 2 days after that Vegas press conference, my life turned into chaos. I woke up to headlines saying, Cole is under investigation for harassment and manipulation. Every sports channel had my name on the ticker. Every talk show was running my clips. And for once, I didn't feel scared of the noise. I was the noise. But the fight wasn't over, because Cole's team started spinning lies. Fake screenshots, fake interviews. They said I fabricated stories for fame. Classic move. Silence the woman by questioning her truth. I could have stayed quiet, but nah, that's not who I am anymore. So I did what I do best. I hit record. Camera on, lights low. I looked straight into the lens and said, "You can fake stories, Cole, but you can't fake history, and I've got receipts." I dropped screenshots, emails, audio clips, everything I had saved for the day I knew would come. The video went live at 9 p.m. By midnight, it was everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, even ESPN was talking about it. Riley Monroe started trending in 14 countries. That same night, I got a call from Jenna. Her voice was shaky. "Girl, they suspended him. Indefinitely." I didn't speak. I just sat there, silent, breathing, realizing I'd done it. But then she said something that hit deeper. "He's not the only one, Riley. There are others. Big names, people we can't touch yet." That's when it clicked. This wasn't just revenge anymore. This was a movement. Over the next week, I started working with Jenna and a few others, women who had been blacklisted, silenced, shamed. We created a project called Round 2, a docuseries exposing the underbelly of the UFC world, all the things they wanted buried under belts and blood. And when we dropped the first trailer, damn, it was electric. Cinematic shots, real voices, heavy truths. The tagline read, "The fight isn't always in the cage." My inbox exploded. Sponsors, Netflix, talk shows. Everyone wanted a piece of Round 2. But I wasn't doing it for fame. I was doing it for every girl who ever thought she had to stay quiet to survive. Still, part of me couldn't rest. Because revenge isn't clean. It's messy. And sometimes it bites back. That night, while editing the next episode, I got a voicemail. No number, no name. Just a voice whispering, "You think this is over, Riley? You just started something you can't control." My fingers froze on the keyboard. For the first time in months, I felt that same old chill crawl back up my spine. I stared at the mic, hit record again, and said softly, "And let's see who finishes it." Fame's a funny thing. It makes you feel invincible. Until it starts eating you alive. Round 2 blew up. Billboards in Times Square, interviews with CNN, TMZ camped outside my damn apartment. Everyone wanted to hear Riley Monroe talk about female strength and truth in the fight world. But behind the lights, I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. Every ping, every camera flash started sounding like a threat, because deep down I knew Cole wasn't done. Then one night, during a live talk in Miami, my phone buzzed mid-interview. I ignored it, kept smiling for the crowd, but when I checked later backstage, my chest went cold. It was a photo of me, sitting right there on stage. Caption, "Round 2, huh?" No sender, no number, just the same message. I stared at it for a full minute, heartbeat in my throat. Then I did what I always do. I went live, camera on, my voice steady, my eyes calm. You can scare a woman who hides, but I stopped hiding a long time ago. The comment section exploded. People sent hearts, fire emojis, queen energy, but even as I smiled on screen, my hands were trembling off camera. That's when I realized, revenge might make you powerful, but it also paints a target on your back. 2 days later, I was invited to speak at a private UFC reform panel in Los Angeles. That's when Jenna called. "Riley, you sure you want to do this? You've already won. Maybe it's time to let it go." I laughed softly. Letting go's for people who didn't bleed for their truth. She sighed. Just be careful. I've been hearing things. Cole's camp isn't just angry. They're planning something. I brushed it off, because honestly, I was tired of being scared. But the night before the panel, something strange happened. I came home to my apartment door half open. Everything inside, untouched. Except my laptop. It was gone. I froze, every muscle locked. That laptop had all my research, evidence, and unreleased footage for round 2. I called Travis, my security friend. He checked the footage. The face was covered, but the stance, the walk, I knew it. Cole. I didn't scream, didn't cry. Just sat there in silence, staring at my empty desk. And for the first time in this whole story, I didn't feel rage. I felt something worse, clarity. Because if he wanted a real fight, I was done talking. You ever reach that point where fear just dies? Not because you're brave, but because you've been broken so many times that nothing scares you anymore. That was me, standing outside the UFC headquarters in Los Angeles, 3 a.m., hoodie up, coffee in hand, eyes locked on that damn building. Cole thought he could win by stealing my laptop, erasing my work, silencing me again. But here's what he didn't understand. You can't delete a woman who's already downloaded her pain into the world. The next morning, I walked into that reform panel like I owned the damn place. Press, executives, fighters, everyone whispering when I passed by. I took the mic, smiled, and said, "They call this reform. But reform doesn't start in boardrooms. It starts when you stop protecting monsters." The crowd went silent. You could feel the air shift. Cameras zoomed in. Every single lens pointed at me. Then the doors opened. Cole walked in, suited up, calm, like he hadn't just broken into my place 2 nights ago. My pulse didn't move. I waited until he sat down, then looked straight at the moderator. "I'd like to show something," I said. On the big screen, Travis had queued up a recovered backup file from my cloud, the stolen footage. CCTV from my apartment, Cole breaking in, gasps filled the room. Phones came out. Reporters went crazy. Cole jumped up, yelling, "This is fake! She's lying!" But his voice cracked. His hands shook. He looked exactly how guilt looks when it runs out of excuses. I leaned into the mic and whispered, "You taught me how to fight, Cole. You just forgot I learned faster." Security walked him out while the crowd kept filming. It was over. The same cameras that once glorified him were now capturing his downfall in HD. Afterward, I stepped outside, the LA sun hitting my face like freedom. Jenna hugged me tight. "You did it, Riley. You finally did it." I smiled, but it wasn't a victory smile. It was something quieter. Because truth is, revenge doesn't give peace. It just gives closure. That night, I went live again. My followers had doubled. I looked into the camera. No makeup, hair messy, voice raw. Sometimes you don't win because you're stronger. You win because you stopped letting pain make your choices. And halfway through, I added my signature line. If you've ever been broken, this channel's for you. Because I'm not just telling stories. I'm telling our stories. Hit subscribe, and let's rise together. Comments flooded in. Women, men, fighters, even ex-fans of Cole. One said, "You turned pain into power, and power into purpose." Another wrote, "This isn't revenge, this is justice." I closed the laptop and looked out my window. The city lights were alive, but for the first time my mind was still. Cole's career was done, the truth was out. But most of all, Riley Monroe finally got her name back. The craziest part about revenge, it doesn't end when the other person falls. It ends when you stop checking if they got back up. Weeks passed since the UFC panel. Cole was done. Sponsors dropped him. Fans unfollowed. The league released a statement saying, "We do not condone misconduct." It was everywhere. Hashtags, memes, think pieces. Everyone had an opinion about my story, except me. Because the noise that once felt like validation started feeling like static. I wasn't Riley, the fighter, anymore. I was Riley, the symbol. People wanted sound bites, not truth. They wanted my pain packaged like a movie trailer. One night, I walked down to Venice Beach, hoodie on, headphones in, just trying to breathe. The air smelled like salt and rain, the waves crashing like they'd seen too much. A girl, maybe 19, stopped me near the boardwalk. "Hey, are you Riley Monroe?" I smiled. "Yeah." She looked at me with tears in her eyes. You saved me. I was stuck in a relationship like yours. Watching your story, it gave me the guts to walk away. That moment hit harder than any punch I'd ever taken, because that's when I realized revenge might make headlines, but healing changes lives. The next morning I called Jenna. I think I'm done with round 2, I told her. She was quiet. You sure? It's blowing up, Riley. Networks are calling. There's talk of a documentary deal. I laughed softly. I didn't start this to stay famous, Jenna. I started this to stop running. She didn't argue. She just said, then maybe it's time for round 3. Not about them, but about you. That line stuck with me, so I did something wild. I booked a one-way ticket to New York. When the plane took off, LA lights faded beneath the clouds, and for the first time, it didn't feel like I was escaping. It felt like I was arriving in a version of myself that didn't need revenge to feel alive. A week later, I moved into a small Brooklyn apartment. No glam, no press, just peace. I spent my mornings writing again. Not statements, not scripts, stories. Stories about strength, survival, second chances. One night, I went live for the first time since everything ended. Thousands tuned in. I looked into the camera and said, you ever realize revenge is just grief wearing a leather jacket? It feels badass until it burns you alive. I'm not here to burn anymore. I'm here to rebuild. The comments went crazy. Someone wrote, damn, Riley, you sound free. I smiled. Yeah, finally. Outside, New York lights flickered, restless, alive, just like me. And somewhere deep down, I felt it. That small, quiet peace I'd been chasing since the day I lost it. Maybe that's what healing really is, not moving on, just learning to breathe again without the weight of the past pressing on your chest. Funny thing about peace, it never shows up with fireworks. It just slips in quietly one day, sits next to you and whispers, you made it. It had been 6 months since I left Los Angeles. No bright lights, no paparazzi, no headlines, just me, my camera, and the hum of New York streets outside my window. I'd built something new, not fame, not revenge, but truth. My channel had changed too. It wasn't about what he did anymore. It was about what we become after the storm. I started a series called After the Fight, interviews with women who rebuilt their lives after betrayal, abuse, heartbreak. It blew up fast, not because of the drama, but because people finally saw the human behind the headlines. Every time I filmed an episode, I'd glance at the camera before we wrapped and say my line. This isn't just my story, this is ours. One night, after recording late, I got a voicemail from an unknown number. The voice, shaky, quiet. Riley, it's Cole. I just wanted to say thank you for exposing me, for forcing me to face myself. I'm in therapy now. I'm trying to get clean. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I just hope you find happiness. I listened twice, then deleted it. Not out of hate, out of peace. Because I finally understood. Forgiveness isn't about letting them back in. It's about letting yourself out. Later that week, I was invited to speak at Columbia University, a panel on resilience. When I got on stage, the auditorium was packed. Students, professors, even a few old UFC coaches in the back. I smiled at the mic and said, they say strength is built in the ring, but real strength? It's built in silence, when nobody's watching, and you still choose to rise. The crowd went still. You could hear the breath between my words. I looked around, those faces hungry for hope, and I knew this was it. This was why I'd survived it all. After the talk, a young woman stopped me outside. She said, you don't know me, but your story saved me from ending mine. And that broke me, in the best way. That night, I walked back to my apartment in the light rain. The city smelled like fresh starts. I made a cup of coffee, opened my window, and stared at the skyline. Tall, loud, alive. Then I picked up my camera one last time and hit record. If you're listening to this, I want you to remember something. Pain doesn't define you. It refines you. You don't have to fight like me. You just have to keep standing. Because somewhere out there, someone's waiting to see you rise. I paused, smiled softly, and whispered, This isn't just my story, this is ours. Then I shut the camera off. No tears, no music, just the sound of New York outside my window. Horns, laughter, footsteps, life moving on. And for the first time in years, so did I.